there is a fact that we simply cannot compete with. The most popular and spectacular form of modern art is cinema. Of course, if we trace the history of art over the past 100 years, we will see an incredible rise in cinema. From silent and black and white pictures, to all this colorful scope, which is shown to us in modern IMAX cinemas. And what we really can't argue with is that in many ways this epicness and entertainment becomes possible precisely thanks to computer graphics and special effects. It is the special effects that will help the directors blow up the whole city, create a new planet, please monstrous monsters or force terrible orcs to enter the battlefield. And today we will talk with you about the most outstanding work of cinematic art that surprise us with their special effects. What large-scale film was shot without leaving the studio building? What did one of the biggest budgets of 2017 go to? How was the crash scene in the Titanic actually filmed? All this is in our today's issue, and let's go. And to begin with, we will look at the film that has generated an incredible number of memes and funny pictures on the internet. We are talking about the film 300 Spartans. The film is really good. There are juicy dynamic battle scenes, beautiful scenery and costumes, good dialogues and soundtrack. However, there is one small nuance. How would you react to the fact that absolutely all the scenes in this film were shot in the pavilion? Seriously, the team did not leave the studio building, and all we see behind the backs of our heroes is actually a green or blue screen plus the painstaking work of special effects masters. Here is such a revelation, for which I personally was not ready. And we're moving on, and now I want to tell you not about the movie, but about my favorite TV series. Finally, we're going to talk about the Game of Thrones. You can talk endlessly about this series, masterpiece scripts, brilliant directors, wonderful soundtracks, wonderful actors and, of course, a memorable visual series. We must pay tribute to the team that is working on the series. In the overwhelming case, in the series we see really real filming locations, that is, the guys travel a lot around the world and are ready to fly around the whole planet in order to find a suitable plant for filming. For example, in King's Landing, on Dragonstone or in the north. However, there are cases when it is almost impossible to do without computer graphics, as a result it is necessary to refine certain landscape views, thereby making the picture more suitable for the style of the series, and the series itself more colorful. A film by the cult director, Luc Besson. The director decided to shoot the second space story in his career. After the resounding success of The Fifth Element, Besson returned to the theme of space and filmed Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. Those who watched this movie saw how beautiful it is. Landscapes are simply fascinating. Everything is very bright, tenacious, and detailed. Sometimes it even seems that the director really managed to find places that look exactly like this. But no, almost everything you see on the screen is computer graphics, which by the way is made at the highest level. No wonder this film became the largest budget in the history of France. And now something I just couldn't help but say. Of course, we are well aware that modern youth are not so interested in classics, but there is something that everyone is obliged to see, regardless of age. And now we're talking about James Cameron's Titanic. The film is simply incredible. You can endlessly talk about it, praise it, and still not even half describe how good it is. The director put his soul into every second of the timing of this film, and almost everything in this story is natural, but there are still scenes that had to be completed at the post-processing stage. For example, the legendary scenes with drowning people were filmed not in a pond but in a pool at the studio, but the destruction of the ship also had to be completed manually. But this does not spoil this masterpiece film at all. And now I'll tell you about how a whole city was created with the help of computer graphics. The finalist of this issue, this is a masterpiece film that was shot based on, I'm not afraid of this word, the legendary literary work The Great Gatsby. The history of New York during the jazz era, the birth of the American way of life and luxury, charmed and accepted people all over the world. The most recent film adaptation of the novel, in which such outstanding actors as Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire took part, won recognition and delight, largely due to its outstanding and memorable picture. And here I will not argue, the visual range in the film is really fascinating, but you can even imagine what percentage of these street videos are actually made at the post-processing stage. In New York, there are practically no places left like in New York in the 20s, which is why directors constantly had to adapt to new shooting conditions, squeeze the maximum not only from their cameramen, but digital masters. And now let's check out the coolest special effect on YouTube. If you click like under this video right now, it will turn super blue.